Good morning. Today is Monday, May 18th. A joy to welcome you to our daily devotions today at the New Hackensack Reformed Church. Before I begin, though, I want to thank everyone who joined with me yesterday for our worship service. I thought it was a very good, uplifting worship service, and I want you to know that I give thanks to all who joined our service. And I appreciate it that when I click on later in the day to view the service, I am able to read who joined us. And whether you are in state and a member of the church or out of state and just watching our Sunday morning worship, I want you to know that I pray for you. So then if you are able to say, hey Keith, I joined you at worship on Sunday, that would be a great thing. When I preach on Sunday, you can actually say, yes, I am with you. And that would be a good thing. So today I am going to be reading Psalm 100. I've read it before. It's a beautiful psalm. Let us listen to Psalm 100, a psalm of thanksgiving. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing. Know that the Lord is God. It is he that made us, and we are his. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, bless his name. For the Lord is good, his steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations. Psalm 100. A pastor tells a story of his very first job in a small town general store. And this was the day before malls and supermarket chains. And at age 13, he was hired as a handy boy. He would sweep the floor, bag items for customers, and pack up and stock the shelves. On one particular Saturday, he recalled he heard the owner say to one of the clerks, "It's that time of year again. It's time to take inventory." The author of the story wrote that this was a word that had not yet entered into his vocabulary as a young boy. When an opportune moment arrived, he went up to the kindly older man and said, "Sir, what's an inventory?" And patiently the owner explained that it was a time when you made a list of everything that you had, from groceries on the shelves to wrapping paper and string. Still, somewhat puzzled, the young man then asked, "Well, why would you do that?" "Well," responded the owner, "it's easy to forget exactly how much you have each year. Every now and then you have to take an inventory just to see what you have." That little story pretty well sums up what giving thanks is all about. It's a time when each of us needs to ask ourselves the question, have I taken inventory of my life lately? Have I made an effort to count all the things that I do have in life instead of complaining about the things that I don't have or can't do right now? It's a good exercise, especially when we are of the mind to brood or whine in self-pity. Have you taken inventory lately? Now, what I'm suggesting here is not some shallow count your blessings kind of platitude, but from time to time, in a genuine kind of way, sit down and have some conversations with God about all the gifts and opportunities and challenges that God has given to each one of us. Life seems to be becoming more challenging as each day goes by, and yet to count our blessings in days like this certainly will bring us closer to God. Perhaps there's a deep underlying wisdom in the children's poem that says, "Count your blessings one by one. You might be surprised what the Lord has done." I believe this is how we meet Jesus, when we learn to pray for others and show kindness and love to our neighbors. Once in a while, we have the chance to meet Jesus as if it were the first time. Often this is how these encounters seem. Out there where there are many, many tears of great sadness and great pain all around, it is then that if we open our eyes, who knows, we just might meet Jesus face to face. I received a phone call this morning from a member who has been very faithful and has been calling around and saying, "Keith, I checked in with A, B, and C, and D people, and they are all doing well. And I just wanted you to know as their pastor." And I appreciate that a whole lot. In a powerful sermon by the Reverend Story of the Methodist Church, the preacher made the following observations which relate directly to Psalm 100. Who is the focus of the church? Who is the person we are concerned about? Who is the person we exist to serve? Where will Jesus be in our future? For Jesus, there was no question where he will be in the kingdom of God. The humble are lifted high, and the most vulnerable have a place with Christ. That is why we cannot ask Jesus into our heart alone. Jesus will always ask us, can I bring my friends along too? You will look at Jesus and his friends, and you will see that the friends of Jesus consist of those who are hurting, the marginalized, the poor, the oppressed, and those who are sick, and those who have lost loved ones. They are lonely, heartbroken, sad, and some anger, yes. You just might hesitate as to what to do, but Jesus is clear with his command to us, only if I can bring my friends. There's a famous poem, the author is unknown. The title is, I Sought My Soul. It goes like this. I sought my soul, but my soul I could not see. I sought my God, but my God eluded me. I sought my brother, and I found all three. That's the way God works. When we seek our brother and sister in Christ, God and Christ shows up for us, and our soul is fed spiritually. Psalm 100, verses 4 and 5. Enter his gates with great thanksgiving and his courts with praise, and give thanks to him, bless his name. For the Lord is good, his steadfast love endures forever and ever, and his faithfulness to all generations. So I encourage you to today, as we begin this 9th week together, look for ways in which you can give thanks to God for the blessings that God has bestowed upon you, even in the midst of this hardship and challenging days. Have a great Monday. We will look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. Thank you for joining me.